Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Um, this is your host once again, Faisal Talpur. Hope you've all had a wonderful Ramadan. We are almost approaching the end of it, and it's such a blessed month. We only get blessed once in the entire year, and the whole idea of everybody of us is to try and make most of it. And I'm sure wherever you are right now listening to this program, you must have made most of this Ramadan, inshallah. Um, this is live broadcast from London on 87.9 FM. This is Ramadan Radio London. If you're listening if you're on FM, then it's 87.9. On Facebook, it's Ramadan Radio London. You can search for Ramadan Radio London and you will find us. We are streaming live on Facebook as well as YouTube. Again, if you prefer watching it on YouTube, just go to YouTube and search for Ramadan Radio London. You should be able to find the channel, and you should be able to, and please don't forget to subscribe. That way you will get notified of all the great programs that we have got on all the time. So once again, today's topic is Today's topic is the impact on world businesses post the current situation. So, what we're talking about really is the current pandemic that we're in. And I suppose there is no hiding that we have permanently changed ourselves in so many ways. As they call it, the new norm. This, whatever has happened in the last year and a half or so almost, that has changed our lifestyles, that has changed how we talk to people, that has changed how we behave, that has changed how we interact, that has changed pretty much every single walk of life, every single aspect of life has been changed. It wasn't something that we had planned as humans, but it's something that has come from the Almighty, and we have to deal with it. And goes without saying that similar changes have also come into the world of business. And some of these changes will remain and will continue to be permanent changes. And as entrepreneurs, as businessmen, and businesswomen, we have to consider those changes, and we have got to see how we can adopt and what does the future hold for us. Because if we do not adopt, as you know, we become the dinosaurs of the business world, which means we literally become extinct and non existent. And hence, it is important for us to consider what is going to happen in the near future, in the years to come, and how has this pandemic made almost a permanent effect in the world of business. So we have got our honorable guest today, who is going to talk us through some of the things that he feels that are going to be permanent changes in the world of business. And I just would like to make a call out once again before I introduce the guest. Um, Brothers and sisters, we are broadcasting live on Ramadan Radio London, and on FM, it's 87.9 FM. The website, you can listen to us live on the website as well. The website is ramadanradio.org. On Facebook, you will find us if you search for Ramadan Radio London. And on YouTube, again, you will find us if you search for Ramadan Radio London. We are broadcasting, live streaming live on Facebook as well as YouTube. Without further ado, let me, once again, the topic is the impact on world businesses post the current situation or COVID-19. Our honorable guest today is Dr. Usman Zafar. Um, Let me caution you, I will not do justice to when I introduce him and when I bring him into our show, because he has been somebody who has been in the world of business very heavily involved at literally the top hierarchy. So he is somebody who advises the governments, he advises corporates, he has been involved in, he actually joins us from Dubai. So that's where he's based, that's where he's settled, that's where his business is. One of his prime businesses, he does a few things, but one of his prime businesses is that he brings companies into the MENA region, and predominantly UAE as well, right? And he helps them guide, he strategically advises them, he gives them global exposure, and he works for a lot of them as a global advisor. He has won multiple awards for so many different things. I dare not list them right now because that's going to consume the entire length of the program. Above all, he is a friend, a global business advisor. He is also considered the top 10 speakers in the MENA region for technology and business related topics. You can imagine the cloud and the credence this individual holds, mashallah. He has won several awards. Like I said, he is a PhD, but he is a PhD in information technology. So he's not a medical doctor. Just to clarify that. And without further ado, let me introduce Dr. Usman Zafar.
Thank you, Faisal Bhai. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, to all the listeners. Warm greetings from Dubai. And thanks for hosting me today. It's my pleasure to be here to share the knowledge and experience we have from this part of the world to the audience in UK.
Dr. Saab, if you don't mind, could you please just talk a few things and mention a few things about yourself? Obviously, I've given a not so fair introduction of yourself, but we would love, in fact, everybody would love to know a little bit more about yourself. Coming from you would make a different impact.
Yeah, well, I have been based in Dubai from past 21 years. I started my career as a university professor, and after serving the research center in the universities and in academics, I was taken by the state of Ajman as a CIO of the state. So I spent a couple of years as a CIO in the public sector, managing all the smart cover e-gov initiatives in the Emirates. And then after spending 5 to 6 years, I started my own consulting practices. I registered my company in London, and the idea was to attract British companies to come to the Middle East market. So I started that journey around 14 years ago, and till date, Alhamdulillah, I have brought more than 60 plus international companies. Half of them are from England. Most of them are public listed companies. There are medium to large scale organizations who have come to Dubai, and with our help, they have expanded their market reach. So we are specialized in getting into public sector projects, specifically in the technology sector. That was the case around, like last 14 years. But last 2 years, we have started bringing companies from different verticals. And sometimes, for example, and now we have reached to the state where we go in more than 18 countries in the world. And we asked for the mandate from the government in 5 areas, which is infrastructure, education, healthcare, smart cities, green energies, which is quite in demand in developing and developed countries across the world. We have also built a very strong investment pipeline. So, for example, if you are the best technology company and you want, let's say, you want to do something in India or in Pakistan, Afghanistan, or any part of the world, projects on public-private partnership basis. So, this is where we are. We help you as World Business Hub to make that marriage happen between a public sector and a private company. So it has been a quite successful journey. I have delivered more than 100 plus projects in the region, in all over the MENA region. And now the idea is basically to help different economies in terms of improving education, creating new jobs, and especially after all these crises we see in the world, the economies are shrinking. You really need to work, as a smart, agile organization, and the way we used to work around a year ago is not no more the case in the coming next few months or years. So these global crises have changed the way we live, changed we do business, our even shopping habits. So everything, it has a deep impact on everything we do around us. So what we are trying to do, like as a global company, is to basically help organizations globally, especially the companies from UK who have seen their fortune, who have state of the art technologies to come to the Middle East, and we help them basically. We provide them, in a nutshell, a one-stop shop service in order to expand their market reach.
Amazing. So basically, what you're trying to say is that if somebody that is, for example, a UK-based company like ourselves, and we want to establish ourselves over there in the MENA region, you can take us from A to Z. Every single thing you will be able to provide, and you will be able to establish us from start to finish. Is that what it is?
Yeah, let me elaborate it a little bit further. So, for example, let's say when you start thinking of having a branch office in Dubai, so you set up a company over here, you register an office, then you go for a sales and business development or marketing team, and then you need a back office thing. Then you realize you spend almost £500,000 in 1 year time, and but you don't have a very strong, healthy pipeline. So when the companies comes to us, we tell them you don't need to do all these things. We help you to incorporate the company under our umbrella. We'll give you all the dedicated staff. So we take care of all your business development, marketing, back office requirements. And then we ask our client list, what is your wish list? So they said, okay, like we want to have a contract with Ministry X in that country. So we make those connections happen, and we help them in building a strong pipeline. And when the projects get happen, we take care of the PMO side, but actually the project is delivered by the company. So by this way, we have brought so many companies. They have very, very successful ventures over here, very successful projects, and they have grown from one person to up to 300 people, 500 people. And so especially nowadays when you're looking to save money, so this model is becoming more and more popular. And we get a lot of inquiries from different international companies. We don't market ourselves because being in the market for many years, companies automatically come, and we have our own due diligence process to see what the companies are capable of. And once they pass the due diligence process, then we take them on board and make sure that they meet the right people, they enter into the right key strategic accounts, specifically in public sector, and we make business happen for them. And in case if they're looking for funding, that's another part. So it's quite attractive market to raise funds from the private investors in the MENA region, and to grow your business back in UK or anywhere else in the world.
Incredible. For those who are listening and for those who are watching, if you would like to, if you want to grow your business and want to tap into the MENA region and or UAE region specifically as well, feel free to get in touch with Ramadan Radio London. They should be able to put you in the right direction and put you in touch with Dr. Usman Zafar. Okay, Dr. Osman, I would like to. I know, obviously, an hour's time is never enough to discuss some of these topics, but I would like to tap into your mindset and your thinking, and what you have been advising the different, for example, organizations as well as governments, because I know you do that, and I've seen you in action, and I know you do that very, very well. So I would love to try and understand and this is something I know you charge them for, but obviously this is Ramadan Radio, and a lot of this we do for Sadqa Jariya reasons as well, to try and help and spread the word, and perhaps get the blessings from Allah. What I would love to know is that, what are you recently advising some of these organizations to do, be it a UK organization who's coming into London, coming into you I mean into the MENA region for the first time, or somebody who's already settled there and based there? What is your prime pointers that you're telling them to do right now, given the situation we are in?
So basically, I mean, as we know that there are a lot of opportunities, but the competition is also very high. So in these markets, like anywhere else in the world, it matters who you know and how well connected you are with the C-level community. So what my recommendation always is to the companies who exist here for many years, but sometime I won't mention the name. I used to have a company I was advising for a couple of years. They have a state-of-the-art office here. They were from Germany, but they have only one client in last 7 or 8 years,
Wow.
and the client was huge. No doubt, the project was big, but despite of them being from, like trying everywhere, they were not able to get the penetration. So the moment they sign up with us, so I was able to take them to different health ministries, different countries, different ministries. Because here, uh, don't forget, it's at the end of the day how modern we are, especially in Dubai, but it's Islamic culture. You have to build the personal relationship. You have to know the people. You really need to be very honest when you are presenting your, the value proposition to the decision makers. So that really helps a lot. So we being here, being a face here locally and delivering so many projects, so we build that credibility in front of like the private offices, in front of the different government sectors. So that really help us to basic that leverage we have basically in order to approach any top level decision maker, with few phone calls. But again, many company comes in here, they set up their local presence, but they go to the accounts without doing their homework. So for example, so don't underestimate the UAE, the Dubai government. I mean, they are among the top 5 countries on the blockchain adoption, on smart cities initiatives. They have moved from, like 98 plus UNDP rankings to almost 28 position right now, and that's the case with most of the GCC countries. So they exactly know what they are doing. By the end of this year, Dubai government will be implementing 2021 like blockchain strategy, which means a paperless economy in the whole state. And there are several initiatives which is quite interesting. So you really, when you come in, so you really need to know to whom you are talking, and what sort of basically a value proposition you really need to work out. So when the companies comes to us, we have we have a first hand information what sort of projects which are linked with the strategic objectives. Sometimes you come and you just normally participate in a normal tenders, but you're not early involved, with the department to write the requirements and all that stuff. So that is something very important. So the culture stuff, people here are very well educated, they know what they need, and you really need to basically break that ice, build that connections, meet them on regularly basis, understand the requirement. Don't exaggerate your value proposition. And sometimes if you come up with a very unique idea, which is sometimes is not the part of their yearly IT plans or smart initiatives, but then you can still convince the decision maker that this project is going to add value in whatever you're doing, so you have chance to win those projects. So those are small tips basically which helps you to keep you going, to get you basically the key strategic projects which you're looking for, and help you to grow the company quite strategically.
Excellent. So basically, what you're trying to say, for the layman who's listening and watching, including myself, what you're trying to say is understanding the market. It's extremely important before you start penetrating the market, and of course, somebody to be there who is local, who understands, the dynamics, the behavioral dynamics, the DNA of how the local society, the local community work, how they think, how they behave, how they interact, how they act, how they perhaps look into and get new products on board, how the consumption is working. Without all of that knowledge, no matter how big a company is and how much muscle power and deep pockets they have, they don't stand a chance. Is that right?
Absolutely. I mean, I have seen a lot
Right.
of private offices here. People come up, they sign up with them, and they are very respectful, very highly influential. They really help people to basically win the projects. But even signing up with them, sometimes you don't get the project, and the only reason is that you're not well prepared. Let's say you want to do something with municipality, so but you don't know where municipality stands right now. So those sort of precautions you really need to take. You need to understand what is the vision, what is the long-term objectives, any particular department they really need to adopt, and especially during all these crises we see worldwide. Like anybody else in the world, I mean, the UAE government and all the other GCC, they have taken, like a lot of measures to make sure that the departments are performing, and digital transformation is happening, with the pace they have initiated it. And trust me, that is one of the core initiative the UAE government have. Like when in 2008 crisis hits, the focus was on infrastructure development, real estate development, but now it's all digital transformation. How to make the life of the citizens, business community, better and happy by using state of the art technology and well refined business processes.
Okay, excellent. Okay, in the previous question I asked you, you mentioned two words, and those two words I would like you to elaborate on in a particular specific under a specific category. How do you see how would the HR world matter now? I mean, what sort of future jobs will be available in next 10 years time within with the adoption of the smart AI and blockchain technology, you feel?
Now, this is a fantastic question, Faisal. I'm at the board of three large universities over here, including Usman University, who have 10,000 plus students. And I do see a lot of shift happening, with respect to technology, especially in this part of the world. And 60% of the jobs worldwide have not been invented yet, which is coming in the next 10 years' time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could you repeat that statistic again, please?
Yeah, so 60% of the jobs which is coming in the next 10 years have not been invented yet.
Wow.
Some of them does exist, yeah, and the large corporates of the world, they started using them. I have a couple of presentations available on my YouTube channel and also on my LinkedIn account, that how the future looks like, especially with the adoption of blockchain, IoT, smart cities, and what we call Industry 4th revolution. So one third of the population, the accountants, the drivers, the customer service representatives, you know, they're gonna be jobless very soon. So the governments basically have to work hard, on this adoption, because it's happening very fast. So you might have seen some of the Amazon stores in Japan or some other part of the world where you just walk in, you don't see anybody,
There's no
and
human.
yeah, there is no human, and you just walk out, with your payment. And later on, we will see the crypto will be utilized heavily also for such transactions. Similarly, you will see very soon a lot of malls coming up where you just drive in, picking up the stuff, and the moment you take your car out, you will be paying through your car number plates. So those are not the talks anymore. Especially you will see like with the 5G, arrival, especially in Dubai, we started seeing a lot of new even KFC or McDonald's shops. You just have a kiosk. You don't need to have a front office people to be there. So very very interesting jobs which will be coming up. Like one of the job title you might hear in a near future, like digital death managers in the organizations. Those are the people who are basically responsible for creating, managing, enhancing, and eliminating the contents across the organization. We
Oh,
call them,
content. Oh, thank God. Okay.
it's called digital death managers. And detox therapist. When you enter the like building, you just came to know there's no internet today. How to productivity counselors, how to create productivity, how to be more competitive. So there are more than 20 plus job titles like that, which is coming up. There is a strong adoption. Crowdfunding specialist, yeah. So or
And these are
cryptocurrency
not humans.
no,
These are
these are
humans.
humans
Oh,
basically.
these are humans. Okay.
These are humans. Yeah, these are the job titles which the industry will be attracting. So a lot of companies, even here, and they have these productivity counselors. We used to call them a knowledge managers. So productivity, their job is to basically enhance the productivity, to make sure that you are there to come up with an idea, increase productivity, how to be more competitive in the
Do
business.
they have a whip in hand or they don't have a whip in hand?
It depends. It's more likely to play with an emotions and encouraging people to
It's
move
more
on.
motivational and inspirational than manipulative.
Yeah. See, we spend millions of dollars. Let's talk about a little bit of e-gov portals or government portals. We spend millions of pounds, million of dollars in streamlining our portals for public services. But then you realize that most of those fancy portals are not being used by the public. They are more interested in solving quick issues. Okay, fix my street initiatives, for example, in UK, is much have much more traffic. than the UK portal. So the world is changing. So the future jobs is shaping up. Yeah, and drone pilots, for example. So now, I mean, Dubai have done, for example, flying drones, which is which will be used like a taxi from one point to another point.
Yeah.
2 years ago, they have this flying cops as well. So, for example, if there is an accident, so they have you know, a flying cop moving from one place to another place for a, for a quick
That would be an interesting
emergency
sight.
reach. You talk about, for example, Hyperloop. I mean, I did one, a lot of research on it.
Yeah.
So,
I
like
saw
a
your
quick,
video on that actually.
yeah. So if you're moving from Dubai to Abu Dhabi by car, you need at least 1.5 hour depending upon your location. But if you are using Hyperloop for that, you reach in Abu Dhabi from Dubai in 7 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes.
Wow.
Then one of the most interesting area which is becoming more and more popular and which is gonna affect a lot of drivers communities is autonomous cars, driverless cars. Uh, so that's one of the, I think, major disruption for from 2020 to 2030, which is happening and which is going to the next level. And on the other hand, when you talk about, let's say, cars industries in Japan, or we talk about like fourth industrial revolution. So you see, I mean, already all these white collar jobs have been taken by the automated robots, and now the robots are entering into every industry. Yeah, either it is a customer service. We see some of those robots in Dubai. When you go to pay your electricity bills,
Yeah.
so you see a small robot ready to interact with you, and you can pay
Really?
your bill. Yeah, yeah, it's from last 1.5 years. It's there in all the malls wherever you go to Dubai Electricity and Water Department. When the IBM Watson technology came, many companies now they are adopting to replace customer service on IBM Watson. Alexa is the best example for IBM Watson. So that's where the world is heading. So we really have to prepare ourselves. The government really needs to go through a lot of ethical studies that with the implementation of such projects at a larger scale, how we are basically helping uh, young generation to adopt these new jobs and making sure that they are into the right, I must say, vertical to gain that particular knowledge and perform their duties.
Amazing. I mean, this all sounds from a science fiction movie, I must say. Listeners and viewers, I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying what we are putting out there today. It is, I mean, I am somebody who also is from technology, but Dr. Usman Zafar he deals with the next level, the future, more than what we are having to face right now. I think you've already listed. I would have loved for you to list the top 10 disruptive technologies. I think you've already listed a few. Are you missing out on any or?
I think, I mean, because like there are a lot of research studies, but in my personal opinion, the research I have done, the technologies which is creating a lot of disruption is basically autonomous cars. I think this is one of the biggest interruption we will see in the next few years. Then we have artificial intelligence. It's entering into almost every vertical. Blockchain. When people talk about blockchain, the mix up with cryptocurrencies and all that stuff. But blockchain, the real use of blockchain is basically very very useful, extremely useful. To basically get the right business use case. So these three or four technologies, I think, I strongly believe are the major disruptions. And then on top of it, we have basically these IoTs. So basically, what is happening? I mean, if I was doing a research, so which countries in the world, we can rank them in the next 2, 3, 4 years that they are the best at the smart cities. So I realized that one thing is common in every smart city project or every country, that more and more organizations, all these, the CIO office of all these countries or states, they are working on the data around you. Yeah. So IoT is going to play a major role. When once you start knowing your customers, and then you keep pushing the information. Yeah, as a normal person, I don't care how complicated your public sector services are. But what I concerned about is that what I am getting as an end user, as a business owner, and what sort of customization I can do, or how I can utilize the information, and how much decision making power I have to take action of the information we are providing. That is the major challenge we have right now across the globe. And the organizations at a private level or public sector, those who realize that how you can empower your end user or your customer, they are the winners actually.
Amazing. Uh, Dr. Smart, would you, for the benefit of the viewers and listeners who obviously do not understand, there's a lot of terminology which is being used, which is quite difficult for for people to not understand, especially who are not from the technical field. Would you be able to explain what smart cities mean, please?
Yeah, I mean, smart cities, in a very like simple and layman languages. It's not something when you search on like YouTube, that how the cities will look like in 2050. So you'll see a lot of flying cars, and
Yeah,
lots of driverless cars, a lot of towers.
yeah.
You see, like while you are in having a shower, you can see all your emails. Well, you can do all that things even now. That's not a big deal to do. The main concept about the smart city is that how effectively you are able to use services as a normal citizen. Either you are driving a car, for example. So when you're driving a car, there are a lot of things. When you say like traffic control, or your uh, tax payments, or your car registration. So a lot of service have been automated already. But smart cities infrastructure are moving now a little bit beyond only not only the technology, but also the customer happiness index. I'll just give you without mentioning
Very
the name of the
powerful.
cities. Yeah. So Dubai have a major drive on that you're living in a city. Yeah, you bought 1 million or 2 million pounds apartment in somewhere in a very lavish place. But the moment you go out, you spend 4 hours on the road, and you're always in the traffic. Yeah. So the focus of most of these government who wants to be called smart, it's not about smart cities, it's about smart living actually. And
Smart
then
living.
smart living. So there are a couple of cities in China. I mean, if you just they have gone one step ahead. They have linked all the security surveillance with the citizens, where they can identify on the basis of their behavior who are good citizens, who are bad citizens, and they have a point system on that. So, like if you are drinking and walking on the road and you're creating problems for the people, you get minus points, and then you will end up even accessing, the public transport. You won't be allowed to take it. But if you're a good citizen and you're behaving, and so it start giving you plus point, where you can get free social services, free, for example, breakfast in Starbucks or some of the coffee shop. So it depends that how you would really like to drive. So the cities like Dubai, what they want to do with a smart city is to make sure that you have, the moment you land on the airport, you really don't need to see any immigration. Even you don't need to. We used to have an e-gate card, that is also gone. You just walk in, they have your iris scan or facial recognition, and then you can, in less than 30 seconds, you can cross the immigration without seeing anybody face to face. So that's the idea, that how to make the life of the people easy. Similar thing is anything you want for them. Like I'm sitting here in Dubai Marina. I just want to know what's next. What if I want to have a data, for example, how many people are living in the next building? So the virtual reality, augmented reality. So all these type of apps basically enable citizens to get first-hand information. So, but in order to do that, the governments basically they spend a lot of money in developing, the smart city infrastructure. So, for example, some of the initiatives several governments have taken, that you see a normal light pole on the street. So what they are doing, they are trying to replace these poles with the 5G poles. So on this pole, you can sit down, you can use any type of you can use 5G technology. You can browse on your smartphone, and then under the same pole you have a surveillance system, which is connected with the other pole. So your whole city is under surveillance as well, and then it helps you to basically have an effective traffic monitoring, traffic signals, reroute basically the information. So those type of small system, when you integrate them, and then it helps you to basically to come after it. And then you implement those use cases in every sector where you are interacting as a normal person. Either it's a banking sector, your utility bill payments, your like immigration system, your license opening, your, for example, you're like your wife delivered a baby. So rather than you go in 10 departments to apply for a passport, another thing, you should get these things automatically, because that is where the blockchain and all these initiatives comes in. The moment your wife is admitted in the hospital, automatically the birth certificate notification comes on your mobile phone. The birth certificate is there, and then you just click through the app, and then you get the passport at your home.
Basically, the passport comes before the baby.
Exactly. So that's basically how you should make like the life of the people easy.
Excellent. Okay, brilliant. Do you think that COVID-19 has created new business opportunities? I mean, what are those businesses in your opinion, and how can we benefit from them?
Fantastic. I mean, I was, I had a lot of time during lockdown, so I did a lot of research as to how the world will look like after COVID-19. And I realized after conducting a lot of research that the life we are having right now, or we had a couple of months ago, a couple of last year, is not going to be the same.
Yeah.
So if you look everything carefully at a personal level, at a business level, at a country level, at countries level, so you will realize that a lot of changes which have happened and which will continue. So, for example, major organizations across the world, like Microsoft, the world, Google, and Streak, and many others, they have a major HR policy change that most of these employees they really don't need to come to the office anymore. Yeah. Now, one of the major impact on the workforce is basically focus more onto remote working as a knowledge worker, as a mobile worker. And then again, it have its own challenges also. Do you have a policy in place? Because let's say I work for Sinch Technologies, and then I don't know what my CEO is doing, and I'm totally alone. So again, there are a lot of policies which you really need to write, where the employees should have a sense of belongingness to the organization. But it is happening, uh, and it has an effect on the commercial real estates. Yeah. So you used to have a very nice, fancy, large offices,
Yeah.
and now there is nobody to rent such offices, big offices, because everyone, they are trying to go to remote. And then when they want to remote, they want to make sure that, okay, what sort of technology tools they should use to improve the efficiency and the work environment for for their employees. So same thing, you take it into the education sector. Millions of students across the world, they have not studied the whole 1.5 year, despite, and parents are being paid, they're paying heavy tuition fees for their kids to get the education. And most of them, it is online. And similarly, when you talk about the restaurant industry, that is one of the industry which is majorly affected
Yeah.
with the COVID-19.
Yeah.
So all these industries which have been affected with COVID-19 have created a lot of business opportunities. For example, in the education sector, if you have skills to teach online, which most of the people they are doing, you can take these skills to the next level. So online tutors, online fitness trainers, online doctors, online nurses, online executive secretaries, they are making a lot of money. You just need to brush up your skills, how to communicate, how to, presentable, how to control the students when you're talking, how to present your content when you're, like teaching online. So all these jobs are available. These are all business opportunities. Similarly, I have seen the shift from a print media to a digital media. So many like young students I have seen, they started adopting a digital transformation skills, social media specialists, and there are a lot of free certifications also available. So if you brush up your skills and become a media specialist or social media handler, so you can again start making money while sitting at home, while working at home. But you have to define your roadmap how you want. Similarly, like there are a lot of demand for video editing because YouTube has become more and more popular. People are spending a lot of time for reading, writing, and updating contents online on YouTube. So if you know how to create videos, edit videos, and so you can get clients from all over the world who can help you to basically do that. Similarly, everyone loves to everyone loves food. So if you have skills, a good cooking skill, then you can create some sort of your own brand and then start selling it online. That really helps. So there are a lot of small of business opportunities which I think are much more in demand, as compared to like 1.5 year. And it's just all about putting your brain and then just starting it. It's not an easy journey. You have to create certain skill sets. You have to have your own launching strategy online, and you need to make sure that how you attract people online to make sure that you are the best.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank God you did not elaborate too much on the cooking, because I know you have broken your fast, but I'm still fasting. So anyway, so no, absolutely, you're right. I mean, so this is how I see it. I think there's going to be, so we can literally divide the world and the time into pre-pandemic and post-pandemic.
Yeah,
Anything and everything that was happening pre-pandemic, to some extent, has taken a toll and has changed post-pandemic. Okay. Some of the things will remain, but a lot of things have changed and will change. Now, from the, of course, it's been very difficult for a lot of people. Health reasons, deaths in the family, and I suppose we've all experienced that. But I think from the point of view of, um, it has also, in my opinion, this shift, this change, or reset, if you want to call it, has brought a lot of goodness along with it, right? I feel pre-pandemic we were in a rut. We were in this hamster wheel scenario, 24 hours, just doing exactly the same thing. And for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 20 years, I mean 45 years, exactly the same thing, and the pattern would not change. And I think post-pandemic, that pattern has been forced to change, right? Again, pre-pandemic, with regards to the internet, a lot of companies were not even bothering with the internet, right? They said they just, I mean, we are from the internet world, so we know how it feels. But they were like, let it be the way it is, and we don't have to, why do we have to shift or change something, or do something which is already working? But then post pandemic, they have actually been forced into thinking virtual, thinking internet, thinking doing business online, right? Connecting online, and there is nothing wrong with it, because this is just another medium, right? Where you would take all that hassle to go out and meet somebody, you can now actually meet them online. You're saving time, you're saving, I'm not saying that should, the physical interaction should not be there, but this virtual interaction also holds value to some extent. So absolutely, I mean, so I think you're absolutely spot on. The world has been divided into these two different time zones, pre and post. And I think the good thing is that a lot of companies who were sitting on the fence, not being able to decide whether they should go internet and they should actually turn their business into an online business, have actually now literally taken the initiative and have started doing that. Okay, we haven't got too much time, but I would love for you to answer this question. I think we should be able to squeeze in a couple of questions. What are the top 10, sorry, what are the top government transformational trends in 2021 and 2022, in your opinion?
in my opinion, I mean, most of the government, especially almost all over the world. Uh, Artificial intelligence is basically one of the major drive in many government departments. As I have given an example of a blockchain. So blockchain is uh, taking over several I can say the core initiatives to make the life of the people easy. So like when I was reading the Dubai government blockchain strategy. So with the implementation of this 2021 blockchain project, they will be saving a money for building Burj Khalifa every year. So just imagine how much saving they will be having. So many people get confused and they really want to understand, what the blockchain is. So in a layman language, for example, what is blockchain? So let's say if you want to have a car in Dubai, I'm just giving an example. So you have to have a letter from your employer. You need to contact the bank. You need to basically contact RTA, which is an official agency to register the car. So these 4 or 5 entities will help you. You have to go physically and submit your paperwork and everything to get your car registered. But if you take the whole process on blockchain, you can get your car, in a couple of hours at your doorstep.
Wow,
Yeah,
really?
with the help of blockchain. So blockchain, your information is stored decentralized. Nobody can change that information, and all these entities are accessing similar data. Yeah. So that's how you're gonna make the life of the people easy. Similarly, like I have just recently opened one company in London, and then I was going through the process, for submitting documents, and then it still took me 2 3 days because they were asking for a lot of compliance documents, and I was in hurry to do that. But similar exercise, if you go through, for example, any government organization, you just think you're sitting somewhere and you have all the documentation ready with you, and you just get your trade license ready in less than 5 minutes. So that is something which can happen, with the help of blockchain technology. So similarly, digital transformation initiatives, it's also something very, very important. The awareness among the business stakeholders and the citizens, that's also the key element in keeping the customers or citizen involved in doing that. So that is also most of the governments, they are really working hard on it. Smart cities is also, like one of the major drive. If you cannot, for example, many cities like even London, they have old infrastructure. So how we can make it smart? So that's the municipal and urban planning challenges. So cities like that, or for example, like Dubai, for example, is newly developed. So how you can have an effective a smart cities initiatives where you can have a certain community or certain cities, eco-friendly city where the citizens can enjoy sort of a smart cities experience. So those are some of the transformational trends in 2021, and one of the very major impact which everyone is focusing on, that how to have a less workforce but more effective, and they know how to work basically from remote areas or remote offices. But again, I said, I mean, there is a big debate. People who have been working from 9 to 5, we call them a linear jobs basically. So if you put them online and then in more how you create that collaborative environment, how you make sure that everyone is involved, especially in this part of the world, people are learning that. I am like I have worked with several companies in UK, so many big companies in UK, the directors level people, they know how to manage their time remotely. But here people are learning even from a top level that how they can actually manage their time remotely, which is actually a learning curve, and I think they will learn with respect to time. So those are the major initiatives most of the companies and government organizations they have to ensure that how they can save money and how they can increase productivity and how they can enhance their business.
Amazing. I mean, there is so much we can learn from you. You are an expert at so many of these topics, and I would love to tap into your knowledge, which you have got so much of. So, just we are approaching the end of the program now. So, what I would love to, for the benefit of our audience, what I would love to get from you is some key takeaway points within a minute's time. What do you think? How would you summarize our program for today?
I think what I would suggest to normal people, normal businesses, keep technology definitely can play an extremely important role, and a lot of initiatives worldwide have been taken. Like one of the European countries, they started like e-residency, for example. So you can create a company online, you can create bank accounts online, you can do a lot of things. So the world have become a global village. So don't wait. Just start basically getting online, streamline your businesses, come out of brick and mortar like models, go for like click and mortar, go for an online businesses, and this will help you to increase your revenues. It will help you to have a better collaboration among the companies worldwide, and this will help you to basically go global. And never wait, for when there is a famous saying, never wait for the judgment. It happens every day. So you just need to start basically and start keep the ball rolling.
That was fabulous. Thanks a lot. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Usman Zafar. We had a fantastic session. If you have missed out on this program, then please, you can certainly watch the video on Facebook channel as well as YouTube. Like I've said previously, Facebook is Ramadan Radio London. That's facebook.com/Ramadan Radio London. And YouTube, once again, you can search for Ramadan Radio London. The website is ramadanradio.org. The name of the program is The Impact on World Businesses Post COVID-19. It has been a very informative session, a very educational session. Basically, the real takeaway from today's session is think tomorrow, think innovation, think creativity, think adaptability. Make sure that you are in tune with what is coming and how you can adopt yourself, your life, your business around it. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you to continue to do your business if you are in archaic times and you're doing business in how it used to be done pre-pandemic. So that's all for us from us, Dr. Usman Zafar and your host Faisal Talpur. Stay tuned. The next program is just as interesting. It's converts in pandemic. It's going to be delivered by Brother Abdul Malik Taylor. So stay tuned and hopefully, inshallah, see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much.